So recently I had just finished this game called Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, and I have a lot of things to discuss about it. Mainly how frustrating the game is. Each aspect, from the characters to the cases to the general story, there's something about it that just makes me mad for no reason. Yet, it's a really addicting game. I don't know how else to describe it, and I'm gonna explain
And
it.
right now!
And just one simple warning: this video will contain spoilers about the entire game, all the characters, all the plot developments, all the cases. So, if you don't want any spoilers about Danganronpa, I would suggest you quit off this video before you make a mistake. Or you make a mistake from hearing my voice, because I've been rambling on for too long. And now, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into this fucking stupid ass game. God damn. Now, the first thing I want to discuss is the characters. And why do I want to discuss the characters? Because I believe in a visual novel, characters are probably the most important thing to me for a game to be successful. I need engaging characters, I need interesting characters, I just need characters in general. So I kind of want to explain how the characters work in this game. So each character has an ultimate, and an ultimate is, well, basically you're a prodigy. Or you're a prodigy at something. Like, for example, one of the characters is the ultimate gambler, which means they're really good at gambling. Simple as that. And looking at this lineup, I initially thought, hey, this lineup has a lot of colorful, bubbly characters. Maybe we can work something out. But a lot of the characters are either really annoying, really one-dimensional, or they're just so out of whack that I don't care. Like, there's so much wrong that they did with this lineup, but it could have been right. Like, for example, I think a character like Kiyotaka Ishimaru, I think on paper, Kiyotaka is okay. His gimmick is he's the moral compass, so he's that teacher's pet bullshit, you know what I mean? But the way they did his character, chapter 2, he hanged out with Mondo Owada, who is the ultimate biker gang leader. And those two had a rivalry between, like, oh, which of my ideals are better. And then Kiyotaka eventually found a friend in Mondo. But then when Mondo eventually was out as a murderer and got executed, he was in a sad drought. And then he eventually changed when they met Alter Ego, which is his computer. And then he just became Super Saiyan. And I'm like, wow. Where was this? Where was any of this character development for this whole time? Like, obviously the main characters are going to get character development, like Makoto and stuff like that. But I did not expect this from him. And then the next chapter, he just dies. Like, this game does that way too much. They kill off the interesting characters, and they leave the characters that no one cares about at the end. Respectfully, no one cares about Yasuhiro Hagigura. No one cares about Toko Fukawa. Genocide Joe is chill. But, like, they just have this problem. Like, no one cares about Aoi Asahina. I think she's fine because of Sakura and her will. But a lot of these characters I don't care about at the end. Because they kill off the interesting characters, because in their mind they're like, oh, if you kill off the interesting characters, then the trials are more interesting, and we have more interesting killers because they're more desperate. And I'm like, dude, it's fine for the killer to be boring. Just make the case more hard to solve. Like, it's just ridiculous at that point. I just want to rant on forever and ever, but this video is going to take too long. So I might make a separate video just simply on counting down like my favorite characters and explaining it more. But oh my god, just wasted potential. It's just so frustrating because it's just wasted potential right there. And now you might be thinking, hey, this man Shisui has been dragging this game to the ground. Where on earth does he think is addicting? And I'll tell you why I think this is addicting. It's addicting through its trials and its good characters through the trials. I'm going to tell you right now, there's only like 5 good characters in this game. And the 5 are Kyoko, Byakuya, Sakura, Mondo, and Chihiro. those 5 characters are the reasons I kept going, right? 2 of them died earlier on. That's the crazy thing. But 3 of the characters, Sakura, Mondo, and Chihiro, all died, I would say early on, but they all died during their trials. And the trials enhanced their characters to the point where I'm like, yeah, I actually have feelings for these characters. And I'm like really sad that they died. Especially with Chihiro and Mondo's dynamic, where Chihiro became weak, was weak at first, but wanted to become strong at the end. While Mondo he put up the persona to be strong, but inside he was weak and he couldn't become strong. So that dynamic low-key killed me. And then Sakura, I'm not gonna lie, also was enhanced by the trial. More so because A, she was the traitor. So right off the bat, she's more interesting because of that. But B, she was more interesting because of her final message and the fact that her case was a suicide. Easily, Trial 4 is the best case in the game. Easily, Trial 4 is the best case. Like, by far. And then, Kyoko and Byakuya are 2 mainstays that I really like, but they're kind of like polar opposites in a way. Byakuya is the antagonist he's the antagonist among the group, who is deceptively trying to throw off the case, as well as manipulating the crime scene where he wants it to be a game. It's a game to him. And that aspect is a good thorn in the haystack that we got in the crowd. Personally, I love him as a character. And Kyoko, I think everyone knows why Kyoko's a good character. She's well written, she's mysterious. You just want to get to know her more. Despite the lack of information, she's still like witty. Her just dialogue choices easily outshine everyone else. Like, it's not even close. And then now I want to mention, I got all the good characters out of the way. I want to mention my problem with the trials. I think that trials are way too wishy-washy in this game. I would say case 1 and case 3 are easily the easiest you can find out who the killer is right off the bat. Because case 1 is Sayaka wrote Leon's name. That I thought everyone knew that was obvious. But case 3, it felt like the more you see the case unravel, you're like, it has to be Celeste. Not even halfway. I would say like a quarter of the way, maybe like a little before it started. Like, you can easily see that Celeste orchestrated the entire thing. She manipulated Hifumi probably throughout the entire chapter, if not the entire game. So those 2 working together makes sense. So like, I thought those 2 are obvious, and that decreased the tension for me, especially trying to figure that out. I think case 5 is narratively good, but case-wise it wasn't that good. Case 6 fucking terrible. Easily the worst case in the game. Just takes too long just for the villain to be so bad. But I think the stars of the show are case 2 and case 4. Those 2 cases are easily the best cases in the game, not even close. And the reason why is because case 2 was derailed by an antagonist, like I said, Byakuya. And case 4 was a suicide. There was multiple people who attacked, but it was a suicide at the end of the day. So trying to put together the puzzle on that case was amazing. Case 2 and case 4, you're putting together a puzzle. Case 3, case 1, it feels so obvious. It's like, come on, man. This is like ridiculous. But then, I think that part of the game, I think the trials are easily the most addicting part, but at the same time, the trials are so weird. Like, gameplay-wise, the trials are really fun, but narratively-wise, most of the trials are not that fun to sit through. Especially since either you know the killer, or they ramble on and on about the same point where you do not care anymore. And while I do agree that the gameplay in the trials is addicting, I do agree that there's faults to it. Like, for example, I think the non-stop debate is done perfectly, where you have the white noise, where it's like, where the purple things, they call it white noise, it's purple things, but you're either disagreeing with someone based on a piece of evidence, you're contradicting someone based on someone's statement earlier, or you're using someone else's word to contradict someone else's statement, where I believe that is perfect. I think that's great. However, I do think with the lack of, like, variety there, like, I feel like they could have done more with it. Like, for example, you could be like, hey, I agree with you. Or maybe like, hey, you have the right idea, but not quite. Not saying they're wrong, but like they're on the right track. Like, I think maybe something like that could have spiced up the things a little. There's another thing called the Hangman's Gambit. I'm personally not a fan of this. Like, it's fine in a vacuum, but to me, I thought it was like a pause in the action. It's kind of like filler to me. Like, I personally didn't like it, but I can see why people might like it. There's also the things I don't like about this game. I think the closing argument is terrible, mainly because it's a huge break in the game. Like, you're obviously putting the pieces together, telling the full story, but I don't like the way they did it. I think the comic book it doesn't feel right, and like a lot of the pictures, especially later on, look exactly the same, or like look so similar to where you're just going to keep looking and looking for specifics, and I think it's a huge break in the non-stop debates where it's fast paced. You're trying to look for everything, and then you just like slow it down to that. It's not a good. It's a bad breakup pace for me. And the bullet time battles, I think they're bad, not because of the concept, but because it's way too easy. Like, I played on mean difficulty for both. I don't know. I think the two things, I forget. There were two difficulties. They were both mean. Personally didn't like it, mainly because I just thought it was too easy. So the concept is pretty much you have to click. It's a rhythm game. You click right click to aim it, and the left to fire. And that's what you're pretty much doing. Later on, you have to reload and stuff, but yeah. And then your opponent has a special move where you can't see the rhythm. This is where the problem is, not because of the opponent's special move, because of my special move. My special move pretty much negates his negative, and I can do a combo whenever I want. See, this is fine in a vacuum. The problem is the special lasts way too long. Way too long to the point where all I have to do is, like, since he doesn't get his special first, what I do is I play normally, reload once or twice, then redo it, and then when he does his negative, I wait a bit, and then I immediately do my special. 9 times out of 10, I'm not losing this. Like, I think the special I have lasts way too long to the point where it doesn't matter what I do. Like, I just think it's too easy. Like, even on the hardest difficulty, I think if it was done a little bit harder, or maybe he immediately gets it, I would enjoy it more. But it's just not the right thing for me, I guess. I feel like it has to be tweaked a little more for me to fully enjoy it. But overall, while I do think the trial has its faults, I do think generally they are the best parts of the game. Like, by far none the best part of the game. So you might be thinking to yourself, hey, if the trials are the best part of the game, why is the game not all trials? Let me tell you a little story. Let's bring it back to the beginning, right? So there's this guy. His name is Makoto Naegi. And you want to know what he is? He is the most... I am an ordinary student. I am the mid of the mid. Even among all my friends, I'm the middest. Even with all my talents and hobbies, I'm mid. But I somehow got into the school of prodigies. That's the kind of character you're dealing with. So, you get in, then you go into the school, you faint immediately. Next time you wake up, you are in a classroom that's bolted shut, you can't see the outside world. And now you're in the death game, after you meet 15 other people and a fucking bear. And obviously you don't agree to murder at first, but then you get all these events, like motives, and then eventually they start to kill each other. And I think, in terms of story-wise, I think the story is fine. Like, obviously you need to keep there needs to be a driving force so something can happen. So, you create motives, you create this, it's fine, right? I think the problem lies... This is especially a big problem with the characters. It lies with free time. I think free time is low-key, is what Persona is. You know, it's like the Persona franchise. Like, you hang out with some people, and you get to know a bit more about them, and that's it. Here's my problem with free time, in general, with this game specifically. As I mentioned earlier, a lot of the characters in this game are either one-dimensional, weird, or you don't care to talk to them. And in free time, you have at least 15 times. You have to talk to people. And you are not incentivized to talk to certain people over others. At least in Persona, you are incentivized to talk to other people where you're learning skills, you're learning this and that. In this game, however, you learn skills that you use in the class trials. But in my opinion, those skills don't really mean much, especially in the trials. Like you can, in my opinion, my experience with the skills didn't change all that much from getting a new skill. Like the gameplay wasn't too different. I didn't notice anything super different. Maybe it's like a low key difference, but I didn't notice a huge difference with my game. So you're not really incentivized to talk to people you wouldn't normally talk to, which further emphasizes why I don't like the characters in this game. If you don't like a character and that character lasts forever, well, good riddance. You have to deal with them for 20 hours. Finally, keeping bad characters in, but it gets to a point where they're actively harming and hindering the game, and at that point you're like, why do I want to talk to them? Oh, I have to hear them listening. I have to hear them talk again. Oh, why are they saying this cringe joke? Like you get to this point with the game, it's like, man, this game is a lot of fun if you exclude this character, this character, this character, this character. And to me, it's just like, make it stop at that point. Just make it stop. I do think the general twists in this game are good. Like, there's 16 students. This was hinted at, but it was vaguely hinted at. And I feel like it was a good vaguely hint. Especially in the beginning of the game where you have 16 people, 16 spots open, but only 15 are used. That's a good hint, I feel like. Not a crazy hint. It's like a low-key hint, but it makes sense. I think the hint that they lost all their memories, it's fine. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it ties everything together. I think the hint that the twist that the outside world is dark, like terrible, that's fine. I think the hint that I think Sakura being the traitor is easily the best twist, mainly because it kind of comes out of nowhere. Like for most of the game, you don't really expect a traitor. Like you hear rumblings of a traitor. Hey, there might be a traitor. Let's work alone. But you don't really buy into that until you actually see it for yourself. So I think that was a good twist. I think there was a few. I think Genocide Jill is a fine twist, not a crazy twist, but it's like, why would you need that in the game? Like, maybe to spice up Trial 2, which Trial 2 is a good case, but that's what it felt like. It felt like, oh, we need to spice up our trial somehow. This trial is not that interesting. Let's just do this and make it more fun. I personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's fine. And then I think the worst twist in the game is not Jugo and Oshima, but Jugo and Oshima being the... Jugo and Oshima's just general personality. Because I do like that Jugo and Oshima is revealed to be the twist villain, but at the same time, I hate her personality. She easily brings down Case 6, and it's not close. Like, I'm all in for, oh, I'm bad because I don't like to be bad, but I don't like the way she handles it because she has all these different personalities. It doesn't make it fun. Like, as well as the fact that, like, her casework is sloppy. Like, especially in 5 and 6, they're really sloppy. Like, legit, at least Sakura's case and Mondo's case put more effort. Like, it was harder to solve. Case 6, you're kind of like, hey, I know it's the mastermind. I know, we know it's the mastermind. We just have to figure out how he did it. Like, it's not a figure of what or who. It's a figure of how. That's it. And at that point, it's just like, you just ramble on and on about the mysteries of the school. Like, I don't care. It got to a point where it's like visibly hard to keep playing the game. And I just thought, hey, no. Well, okay, so all to take away from this, I do think the plot is fine. However, I do think the twists are fine, especially Sakura's. I think Sakura's a really good twist. Just her character in general is so good. But I think the villains, the main villain is terrible. Like, especially in our last case, I think Monokuma's fine. Jugo and Oshima's terrible. And I think the overarching story, while it could have been, I wish it would have been a lot. I wish it was more. I think this game just frustrates me because it's good. It has potential to be really good, but it's not. And that's what I hate about it. I think that's all I wanted to mention for the video. So, if you made it to the end, I really appreciate you for sticking around, especially since this is my first official video. So, I really am happy if you do make it to the end, and comment, let me know if any complaints about this video, any feedback, something you might like prefer, maybe something new I can do, or maybe just a video idea. Just anything, comment anything, it would be appreciated. And if you disagree with any of my points in the video, then you can comment civilly, of course. I'm always happy to discuss anything about the game, and we could talk about it. And the last thing is, um, if you did like the video, I hope you like and subscribe. And until then, this is She Sweet from Philly, and I'll let you go. See ya.